Hey guys, I'm Simon, the lead apps developer with Footballguys. I'm going to talk a bit about Scott Fishbowl leagues. So these leagues are really unique. They've got a ton of really cool scoring in them, first downs, and some different types of yardage bonuses. Um, and that makes them really difficult to prepare for, and it makes them really difficult to mock draft for as well. Thankfully, all of that is fairly easy in the Draft Dominator. So the first thing you're going to want to do, if you're a Scott Fishbowl player, or even if you're in a similar situation with your own league that's fairly unique, first thing you want to do is add the league into the Draft Dominator. So I've already got a league here, Scott Fishbowl League 9. If I didn't have that there, I would just hit add leagues and select my fantasy league and log in, and then import the league. That process is very simple and self-explanatory. Once we've got that league listed in our leagues, we are just going to select it there, make sure we've got mock draft selected, and hit create draft. So the first thing we're going to notice here is that the tight end premium scoring has bumped Kelsey and all the other tight ends up our own rankings, and it's also put quarterbacks higher than they would usually be in a standard league. And if we have a look at the scoring that we've imported over from my fantasy league, this makes perfect sense because we've got a higher points per passing touchdown, -4 for an interception. You can see all the different yardage bonuses there. And you've got the tight end premium scoring here, so an extra half point for a first down and an extra half point for a reception. So all those things are going to lead to, especially the 6 points per passing touchdown, that's going to bump up the quarterback some. And then the tight end premium, that's going to bump them up as well. You can see, if you wish, our first down projections. They're all listed here. So if I go to quarterbacks, so here you've got a different way of viewing all of the different columns on the Draft Dominator. So I've gone to the passing columns, and we've got P1D, so hovering over it, that's passing first downs. And we've got the projections there, which are inferred from our completions, attempts, yardage, touchdown, and interception projections. And the same thing if we go on to receiving, and we switch to wide receivers. You're going to see a receiving first down projection there as well. So you're going to see some players are fairly lower than others around similar spots in the rankings. So Beckham there, perhaps more of a big play guy, less of a kind of player who tends to move the chains, perhaps a little bit for this point in the draft. So he's a bit lower than the guys around him, Davante Adams, whereas he's more of a go-to receiver, get the ball, keep on moving, get another first down, and let's go. So that you're going to see that those types of players go up a little bit. You know, normally you might be tempted to take Odell Beckham in front of Davante Adams, but here we switch those guys because of the first down projections there. It can make that little subtle difference there. So we've got our own rankings, we've got the tight ends and the quarterbacks moved up a touch. That's one thing, but getting a realistic mock draft is another. But thankfully the Draft Dominator is going to do all of that. It's going to get ADP, and it's going to adjust all the players up or down the same way it did for our own rankings. So if we start a draft, and let's take Barkley with our pick here in the 2 spot, we're going to see Kelsey there go in the first round, and Mahomes right at the beginning of the second, which we wouldn't expect to see in standard leagues, but here we do. Again, there Watson in the second too. And you can carry on. You'll find that each draft is slightly different. So if we go back to the beginning again, I'm just going to reset to the first pick. And then we'll start this draft again. Okay, so a different player straight off in the number 1 spot. Okay. Order of players is a little bit different there in the first round, and let's just do one more because I've seen a few of these drafts in the Draft Dominator, and Kelsey sometimes falls to the second, as does Mahomes, and sometimes Mahomes goes in the first. So you can see things moving around a bit there. Beckham creeping in at the start of the second round. So you're going to get an ability to practice here with variants. Each draft is going to be different. There's other videos in the Mastering the Draft Dominator series if you want to really go in and customize the behavior of how the mock drafts work. But our Scott Fishbowl guys on staff think this is a pretty accurate mock draft, and of course that's going to be very difficult to do otherwise, given that all of these drafts start at the same time. So I'm just going to finish this video by having the Draft Dominator auto complete the rest of a draft, which is going to be doing it based on exactly how it would do the mock draft, just picking for all the teams, including our own. So you guys can see how a full draft plays out in the Draft Dominator for the Scott Fishbowl across all of the rounds of the draft. So again, it's always going to be different from draft to draft because every team is drafting not only according to ADP and their rankings, but the needs of the team as the draft goes on and their roster builds. Their needs will change slightly, and the picks will be more and more different. Therefore, as the rounds go on, so you can get the Draft Dominator online. There's a link in the description. So go ahead and have fun, and just comment on this video if you've got any questions about the Scott Fishbowl and how it works with the Draft Dominator.